It was Christmas Eve, but the night was not silent. The snow shimmered pale and hollow, as though the world itself had exhaled all color and warmth. The wind moved like it carried a warning, curling through the village, rattling roof lines, shaking the trees in a rhythm that felt deliberate. Something had returned this year, something that the snow wanted to borrow or take. I pressed my face to the frosted glass, realizing with a chill that I was not alone. Lisa, Mark, and I had been driving for hours, fleeing the city for a quiet, snowy vacation. The plan had been simple: rent a cabin, escape the relentless noise, and enjoy the illusion of peace. But the storm had other intentions. By the time we reached the outskirts of the village, the snowfall had thickened into a blinding wall, each flake heavy with intent. Visibility dropped to nothing. The car struggled, tires spinning in deep drifts, snow piling higher with every attempt to move. Mark cursed under his breath. "We can't stay here, we have to find shelter." Through the blur of falling snow, a silhouette emerged. A tall building dark against the white. A hotel. It seemed impossibly vertical, almost absurd, like it had been dropped by some unseen hand. Shoving open the door, we stepped inside, greeted by warmth that carried an odd weight. Shadows clung to the corners and beams, stretching longer than the lamplight should allow. The hotel keeper appeared almost immediately, thin, skeletal, with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Welcome," he said smoothly. "The storm caught you. Come in." His voice was calm but deliberate, measured, as though every syllable had been rehearsed 1,000 times. Inside, the air smelled faintly of pine and smoke, but beneath it was a metallic tang that made the nose twitch. The warmth didn't comfort. It pressed against the skin like unseen fingers. Our rooms were simple, yet the floorboards groaned even when unoccupied. Doors resisted opening as if reluctant to allow passage. Outside the windows, movement flickered in the snow. Children, at first playful, running loops that made no sense, but their faces were pale, frozen, too still to be natural. Shadows moved independently of their forms, stretching and flickering, always watching. That night, the lullaby began, soft, fragmented, carrying a rhythm that made your mind ache if you listened too long. Lisa was the first to hear it. "Do you hear that?" she whispered, clutching her blanket. We tried to rationalize it. The wind, pipes, imagination, but the tune echoed through the hallways, through the walls, as if the building itself hummed. Sleep was fitful, haunted by flashes of movement outside the windows. The wind pressed against the panes, and the snow seemed to curl into shapes, human-like, animal-like, shapes that made no sense. Our thoughts turned inward. Paranoia seeped into every interaction, every glance, every step. Morning revealed we were trapped. Every road was swallowed beneath drifts taller than the car. Forced to explore, we discovered the corridors stretched farther than they should, turning corners that didn't exist. Doors led to rooms that moved when we weren't looking. Paint peeled in curling, shifting patterns. Floorboards groaned under our feet, sometimes echoing from above, behind, or somewhere else entirely. In the dining hall, chairs formed a perfect circle, though no one had sat there. A single plate rested in the center, dusted with frost. Shadows flicked along the walls at the edges of vision, vanishing when we focused. Outside, the children moved closer, eyes deep voids that reflected nothing. The lullaby grew louder, soft yet insistent. "Lisa, Mark, Reed." Names whispered, curling around our thoughts like smoke. Lisa was first to see the woman, pale, long dark hair like wet ink, eyes hollow, gliding silently across hallways. Mark denied seeing her. but even he flinched. Shadows no longer mirrored us. They led us, forced our movements, twisted perception. Objects moved subtly. Books fell, curtains swayed, lights flickered. Snow pressed against windows, reshaping the village, bending light and sound. Over the next days, incidents escalated. Doors closed on their own. Footsteps echoed in empty halls. Lights burst, plunging rooms into darkness. The children played closer, tapping on windows, their laughter hollow, echoing inside our skulls. The woman hummed relentlessly, more distinct, almost forming words. Stay with us forever. We explored the hotel cautiously. Old ledgers revealed visitors who had disappeared in the past. Letters from families never returned. Photographs with faces scratched out. Every clue confirmed the building's long history of trapping travelers. Snow outside moved unnaturally, forming human shapes, then dissolving. Footprints appeared, vanishing before we reached them. Nighttime horrors multiplied. The lullaby became a song, a chant, filling rooms and hallways. Shadows stretched impossibly, forming figures too tall, too thin. Lisa screamed when she glimpsed one pressing against her window. Mark vanished briefly, returning pale, mumbling about hands that pulled him from the hallway. Doors looped, corridors twisted, rooms appeared and disappeared. Every time we tried to leave, we ended back where we began. Objects rearranged themselves. Beds sloped impossibly. Furniture shifted when unobserved. The woman appeared more clearly, gliding toward us, eyes empty yet piercing. The children's laughter grew frantic, sometimes crying, sometimes screaming, always out of sync with reality. Our panic heightened. Every attempt at rationality dissolved. Sleep vanished. Hunger and thirst became secondary to the terror surrounding us. We tried calling for help. Phones were dead. Radios hissed static, then faint whispers of our names. Even our cell signals failed, swallowed by the storm and the building itself. Psychological pressure mounted. Lisa hallucinated shapes crawling along walls. Mark imagined snow pressing against his chest like hands. I tried to anchor reality, but the snow outside, the hotel, the shadows, they rejected it. Each night, the hotel came alive. Looping hallways, snow-shaped footprints leading nowhere, shadows that moved on their own, and children sliding unnaturally through the storm outside. The woman appeared at every turn, eyes voids, mouth humming a broken lullaby that called our names. By dawn, the hotel seemed ordinary, but the melody never left, and every Christmas Eve it waits, ready to claim new souls.